Okay, it's time to introduce the pop-up palette in Krita, which is a very powerful feature of the program. And as you can see, I've got a blank canvas and I've got my brush tool, correct? And all you need to do to access the pop-up palette is right-click on your mouse. And this is what it looks like. To hide it, you just right-click again. So just by right-clicking on your mouse, you can hide or show the pop-up palette. Now, this pop-up palette is a very automatic way of selecting not just color, but also your brushes, and you can do a lot of other things as well. So let's just go through it. First of all, you will notice these two colors on the end here. Well, they're just your foreground, background color, which is basically the same as choosing them up here. Okay, so if you switch them around, you can see that it's alternating there as well. This little circle here, if you press and drag, it actually rotates your canvas. So let's say you tilt it there and you want to go back to normal, you just click once in that top circle again and it adjusts itself. Then you have down the bottom here the zoom function. So you could zoom in and out, and you can also go to full screen view, which is like a preview. Now, I'll just show you something else as well that might be interesting. Let me just flick on this layer, and I'll just right-click the pop-up. I've got this little Krita artwork, so if I right-click on that, up comes the pop-up palette. In fact, let me right-click over here so you can still see the Krita. Now, this feature here, which I'm pointing out right now, that one there, that flips the canvas, and this is very important as an artist. You should be able to flip the canvas and then you can view it from both sides. So again, I'll just show you how it goes. Flip, and there it is. So that's not a bad feature. So let's talk about the color wheel, the automatic color selector. So here is where you choose your hues, your tints, and your values in the same way that you would with your normal color picker. So again, whatever you choose applies to the foreground color here, but also to the foreground color here. So if I want to now choose a yellow, you can see my foreground is yellow. If I move it across to here, it's now green. Now, the outer circle, which is white at the moment, this is really useful. If I start painting with that green, let me just try and do a couple of strokes with green. When I right click again, notice it's been added. Now if I change my color to a yellow and paint that, and then right click again, now the yellow's been added. And let's do another one, let's do red. Okay, so this is a fantastic little swatch. It means that every time you paint a color, it saves it. So again, if you want another color, let's just try the blue over here. It adds the blue. Let's go for a purple. It adds the purple. And you can keep, I think you can go up to 10. I haven't tested it. So now we come to the brushes themselves. Rather than going all the way up here and choosing your brushes, you can now select them from here. Now, at the moment, if I press on this little icon here, this one here, it tells me which type of brush I have got selected. Now, at the moment, it's my favorites. I can now change it to effects brushes. Click on that again. I can change it to paint brushes. Click on that again. Textures. And they're really quite handy. It's a one-stop shop, really. So let's say, for instance, I want to choose this brush here. Now, that's just a textured brush, as you can see. Not my favorite. But if I now go to this icon, this one here, it actually gives me the specifications for that brush. So here I can actually alter the opacity. In fact, let me choose another brush. I don't like those ones. Let me go to paint brushes. Let's choose this one. In fact, I was too quick. Let me just hover over the top. That's called the Bristles Flat Brush. I was going too quick before. So let's just say I want to bring down the opacity. So at the moment, if I paint with that, it's a nice, rich, opaque purple, which is what the foreground color is. But if I right click and bring up the pop-up palette, I can bring the opacity down here and bring the size up here. And basically, if I right click again, let me just try that again. Why didn't that work? Oh, that's strange. The opacity is not working. Let's just try another brush. Okay, rich dark purple. Bring down the opacity. Try that again. Right click. That's better. Yeah, that other brush didn't work for some reason. So I guess what I'm trying to say is with the pop-up palette, you can make these selections on the hop as you go, basically. Whereas before, you'd had to go up here. You had to go and change your foreground color here. Click OK. You had to bring your opacity down up here. It's not a big deal, but you might find that this is a lot quicker, just choosing things on the hop. And just to finish off, if I really want my favorite brushes, I just go to Con Artist, and these are my favorite brushes. I've only got 4 at the moment, but it just means I can then click on them and work away without having to remember which brush I liked before. So that's something important to remember. And that's the pop-up palette, and you activate it just by right-clicking on your mouse. Right-click to show and right-click to hide. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye-bye.